I'm so tired from editing that last video. I need something to drink. Wonder what this is. Oh, that's disgusting. What is this? Top of the morning coffee? St. Patty's Day edition? Oh, that's so bad. I think I just experienced what a pinch would taste like. Oh. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Star Theory, the show where I keep learning new things about Chicago. Seriously, I think I know more about the city than the actual city I live in. Anyway, when we left off, we found out that in LoreFi, Taylor is living in the state of Illinois, likely to be Chicago due to some song titles giving us hints. However, this doesn't give us her exact location or Gregory's. But we can deduce that since a newspaper in the LoreFi trailer had the headline, "Local Boy Goes Missing," we can safely say that Taylor and Gregory are nearby neighbors. Whether Taylor has ever heard of Gregory before now is unclear, but we get some hints about this thanks to newly released tracks. Some things we'll talk about in this episode are Taylor's relationship with Gregory, the pattern of directions we get in a few new track titles, and the question that's on everyone's mind, what is that mysterious green beverage on Taylor's desk? All will be, well, not answered, but I can say that you can sleep easy with the theories I present to you in this episode. At least until someone points out a flaw, because I didn't look deep enough into the history of Chicago and the Illinois. Yeah, we've gotten that deep. But I digress. Without further ado, let's begin.
Hold up! I'm interrupting this video for one reason, and one reason only. That's right, Starfinity. It's me, CCNation. Professional YouTuber, filmmaker, comedian, author, and occasional meme creator. Here to tell you about the civilization of the Illinois. For those of you who don't know, the Illinois, also referred to as the Illinois Confederation, were made up of 12 to 13 tribes who lived in the Mississippi River Valley. The word Illinois was actually derived from the French word Illini, which means those who speak in the ordinary way. The Illinois lived off of agriculture, hunting, and fishing. Next time you think you know Illinois, think again. Tune in next time for another segment of Wow, I Didn't Know That with CCNation.
As I mentioned before, Taylor and Gregory don't have any clear connections on the surface. They just seem like two random kids who are somehow mixed up in this town mystery. However, when you look at the details close enough, such as the newspaper I mentioned before and the paper in Taylor's trash bin that reads, "Unlocked for weeks no chat," such as the newspaper I mentioned before and the paper in Taylor's trash bin that reads, "Unlocked for weeks no chat," probably referring to Gregory, you start to see the pieces being sewn together. I especially found some lore in the EP called Memories on Repeat. Just look at these titles and you'll see that Taylor has bits and pieces of Gregory in her mind. Lucidity, Memories on Repeat, Profound Vision, Remember Me, 3251, Dreams Lost, Stay With Me, Gentle Touch, Branching Path, and Become Whole. I'd like to mention that Lucidity is a title that appears twice, once on the Memories on Repeat EP and again on the New Game Plus single. What this sounds like to me is that Taylor is having these lucid dreams and memories of Gregory. What's funny is that lucid dreams are most common during REM sleep. So does this mean that Taylor is in a sleep state while awake? Well, for that answer, let's look no further than the latest single from LoreFi titled Synesthesia. For those who don't know sciencey terms, like me, synesthesia is a phenomenon that creates a crossover of the senses. For example, you could taste colors or feel sounds. In this case, I believe that Taylor is seeing memories and dreams of Gregory. These visions could be caused by the music she is listening to. This matches with the titles found on the Memories on Repeat EP. The titles Remember Me and 3251 tell us that Gregory could be sending this music to Taylor to remind her of him, possibly because her mind was affected by the villainous virus, who we suspect to be the Duckman. There's also a strange marimba cipher at the end of the last track on the EP titled Become Whole. I've been looking at it for hours, but music ciphers aren't my thing, so if you want to take a crack at it, be my guest. So for this section, I've put together that Taylor has forgotten about Gregory due to the computer virus, but she is having lucid dreams and visions reminding her of the missing boy because Gregory is giving her these memories through the music she is listening to. Alright, let's move on. When looking at all of the song titles from LoreFi, I noticed some tracks have a theme. Look at these names and see if you see a pattern. Notice it yet? They are all about directions. This epiphany hit me after listening to a new track called Down the River. Right before this one was the track Moving Up. Clearly there's a path to follow here. At the end of Down the River there's another spectrogram that gives us this image. Looking at it by itself, it's not much, but when you put it together with the previous one, we see that this is the bottom of Lake Michigan, confirming that the lake mentioned in Windy Town's EP is the famous Great Lake. That's not everything, however. I also may have found the river referenced in the Down the River track. This river is none other than the Chicago River itself. One clue that pointed to this river is that it is directly connected to Lake Michigan, providing a clear path for someone to follow. What's confusing is the pairing of the two tracks Moving Up and Down the River. How could you move up and down a river while going in one direction? Well, all you have to do to figure that out is look at the river's history. By the time Europeans arrived in Chicago, the river flowed into Lake Michigan from the city's flat plains. This allowed for pollution and waste to spread into the clean water source of Chicago. Of course, this caused health problems and sanitary issues. This was addressed in 1900, when the Sanitary District of Chicago completely reversed the flow of the main stem using a series of canal locks. This meant that Chicago River would flow from Lake Michigan to the new Chicago Sanitary and Ship Canal. Now the titles make sense, as you could be moving up the river while also going down it when looking at the map. To further prove Chicago River is the path home, there are a few places that caught my eye that are next to the river. The main place is the Chicago Riverwalk. This is a very famous trail. A starlight trail, you could say. It could easily make for a nice walk back to your house, and it takes an average of 1 hour and 27 minutes to cross. A nice, healthy exercise. The second place is a place called the Duck Inn. Wait a minute. Duck? Coincidence? I think not.
That could be a huge coincidence. There are plenty of places called Duck Inn in America. The chances of that specific location being connected to the duck character in LoreFi, well, they're pretty slim. But hey, what do I know? I'm not even a duck. This has been Wow, I Didn't Know That with CCNation.
Third is part of the river itself. It branches out into the north and south branches of the lake. This matches with the track Branching Path in the Memories on Repeat Plus EP. The final place is called Shades by Mattis. This is a window treatment store next to the river. This matches with the track called Passing Shades on the Windy Town EP. I believe this just gives us more insight as to where specifically this story is taking place. From the information I've gathered, Taylor takes a walk along the Chicago River to get home. This river also runs next to Naperville, the assumed living place of Gregory. While this may not give us much, I think it'll be helpful when future clues come out. Alright, now onto the main event. The thing that's been bugging everyone since the beginning. What is this green juice sitting on Taylor's desk? Like, who has a drink that looks like this? It isn't your average Mountain Dew or Gatorade. No, this doesn't look drinkable. Actually, I don't think it's a drink at all. Theorists, this liquid, I believe, is connected to a long-running tradition involving the body of water we just discussed. For over 50 years, on the Saturday before or on March 17th, the Chicago River is dyed green in observance of St. Patrick's Day.
Wow. I didn't know that. Did you know that? No? Good, because this has been Wow, I Didn't Know That with CCNation. I kind of want some Mountain Dew now.
This tradition was an accident in 1961 when plumbers used fluorescent to trace sources of illegal pollution discharges. They switched this dangerous chemical to powdered vegetable dye, so I guess it would be edible, but seriously, who's drinking this stuff? Now, as to why Taylor has a cup of this in her room and why it's been sitting there since March is unclear and is definitely a hole in my theory, but the fact that the Chicago River, which as we discussed before is a possible walking trail for Taylor, is dyed this shade of green in March is a little too coincidental for it not to be considered. Could this mean Taylor is of Irish descent? Does she have a stash of St. Patrick's Day formula in her closet? Will she finally clean her room? Find out next time. But remember, that's just a theory. A star theory. Thanks for watching. Thank you to CCNation for being a part of this video. Make sure to go subscribe and check out his videos as well.